Today is exciting for me because I have just recently learned how easy it seems to be to make solid lotion bars. And if you were here earlier and you saw my unboxing of Whirly Spring Soapery order that I bought, you'll remember that it was a box full of amazingness. And in this box full of amazingness, she included beeswax. This is like the most possibly organic beeswax in the world because it's from like her neighbor, if I remember right. And I thought, it's time. It's time to make my solid lotion bar. And those have beeswax in them. It looks so easy. So the recipe that I am going to do is coconut oil, cocoa butter or shea butter or both, and beeswax. So I read that it's a good idea to add vitamin E. Currently it's in the mail on the way to my house. But until those things get here, I'm going to make this batch personally, for me, unscented, just so I can have my first experience of making a solid lotion bar. And I know that you can add fragrance, which I will the next time I make this. So if you want to come along with me and make a lotion bar, here we go. So what is so neat about these solid lotion bars is that you need a third of each ingredient. Meaning that if you had 2 ounces of beeswax, you would also do 2 ounces of coconut oil, 2 ounces of cocoa butter or shea butter, or whatever you decide to use. And it looks like we have 2.36. So I'm going to try to get 2.36 of everything else. We're going to do cocoa butter today. .33, 2.36. Now let's try our coconut oil. 2.36. Because I don't have a double boiler, I'm going to very carefully melt all this in the microwave. Like, would this work in a double boiler? This? I don't know. I was afraid to try it. Maybe my experienced viewers could let me know, could I use this as a double boiler? Put this in a pan of water. Let me know. I'll bet you experienced lotion bar makers were like, oh, she needed to melt that beeswax first. Yes. So I think I'm going to actually fish out the beeswax and melt it separately because my oils are melted. So we'll take out our beeswax, try to melt it some more. Beeswax really has a nice natural smell about it. It smells like Living History Farms. You know what that is. Boy, it immediately solidifies, doesn't it? Look at that. Maybe that's where a double boiler comes in handy, because the whole dish will be hot. I suppose maybe I need to heat it again, just so that I can get everything melted down. I think I will. So now that my dish is hot, I think I can pour. To show you don't need special molds, we are going to use cupcake cups. And now we wait. Well, as you can see, it shrunk a little bit in here. After about 30 minutes, I put this in the refrigerator to move it along. So let's see what it's like. Wow. Very nice. I wonder if you can stamp these like soap. What are these speckles coming off the bottom? Well, the cupcake cups papers worked out really, really, really nice. So if you don't have a silicone mold, these are perfect. I'm gonna hold one for a little bit so I can see if I can stamp it. There. Well, that was fun. It smells like beeswax and cocoa butter to me. Well, I am pleased with how my first lotion bars came out. If you don't know how to use a lotion bar, you just rub it in your hands for a little bit till you get as much lotion as you're wanting to use, and you rub it in, just like lotion. Easy. Now for performance for these bars, I think they are slightly too greasy. So I was looking up what can I do about that for the future. I can actually melt down these ones I made and add just a little bit more beeswax, and that's supposed to help. And I think I probably lost a little bit of beeswax from the separate melting I did, because there was still beeswax in the extra cup that I melted the beeswax in separately. So I know I lost a little bit of beeswax in the process of making my bars, which I'll keep that in mind when I make them again. But overall, even though they are a little bit greasy, if you give it time, it does sink in and they feel great. So it would be good to put on like right before bed when you're not going to mess with something right afterwards. For how this particular bar is performing right now, you don't want to lotion up your hands with it and then start working on the computer, because you kind of have greasy fingers. But putting it on right before bed, I think would be great, because it'd have time to soak in. You're not touching anything that you don't want to put your fingerprints on, basically. I'm very excited to do some experimenting with lotion bars, because I know you can add a couple of additives that are not water-based, and I'm looking forward to adding some fragrances and making different options of lotion bars with different fragrances. And I read that you can add some clays. If you have any suggestions or tips when it comes to making solid lotion bars, I would love to hear your advice. And I suppose that's all I have to say. Bye.